yourself to be out there and even learn to be better. So how do you encourage someone to exemplify their best self?
All right. Thank you, Lucy, for that question. How do you exemplify your best self? I will tell you something. A lot of people are very shy and they mask who their true selves are. So one of the things I normally do is the SWOT analysis. You tell someone, can you list down what your strengths are? And please do not downplay what your strengths are. If your strengths are singing, write singing. If they are organizing, write organizing. If it's dancing, write dancing. Skills, your experiences, your talents, and even feedback. When people compliment you and they tell you, oh, your hair is nice, don't start saying, oh, my hair is not nice. Or when they tell you your jacket is nice, don't say, ah, this one is a secondhand jacket. Learn to receive those compliments because those are the things that add to your personal brand. Those are the things that add to your strengths. So once you know what your strengths are, you know what your talents are, you know what your values are. And values here are very important because values drive us in making decisions. Are you a person of integrity? Are you a person who can be trusted? Are you a person who has empathy? So that takes you to self-reflect. What are these values that you have? So you combine your strengths and your values to bring out your unique selling proposition. So when people see Catherine, what can they say about Catherine? Do they say Catherine is reliable? Do they say Catherine is trustworthy? What is this thing that makes her stand out? So we encourage people to do a SWOT analysis. What are their strengths? And to focus really on their strengths, their weaknesses, how they can work on their weaknesses, what opportunities they have around them, and what are their threats, what are the feedback they receive from other people, and also what are their values. Once they combine all these things together and then become true to themselves, then their authentic self starts coming out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Maybe you can add and share maybe an example of someone or a brand you've worked with and you've helped them to grow and evolve. So how has that been, like you just experiencing that, if you can share?
In fact, my story is very similar to that one of Rebekah. I once got these clients who had come for presentation skills. And one of the things clients do when they come for presentation skills, you have to come to the front and introduce yourself. Oh, this girl could not just stand in front of the class to introduce herself. She was so shy, she was looking down, she was almost running away from the front of the class. Yeah. Then I told her, I encouraged her, please just do it. Just try and do it. And she said, oh, my name is Isabella. I said, that is fine. So when we were having tea break, she came to me and she said to me, you know what, madam? Let me tell you, my confidence is down there. I cannot just stand in front of people. And that makes me drown in alcohol. Once I am drunk, then I gather the courage and I can talk to people. So I would like you to help me. And I told her, you are talking to the right person. And we had several coaching sessions with this lady on confidence, on presentation skills. And by the time we were done, she came back and she said, madam, are you seeing the transformation? I changed my wardrobe. I started dating. I even got married. So yes. These things work. These things work. And it's very encouraging and very fulfilling to see someone transform from this shy person who is drowning in drink because of confidence issues to this person now who starts accepting themselves and their positivities, and they're ready to learn and to change, and they become a brand new person. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so encouraging. Rebekah, I wanted to know what really makes a strong brand, a strong personal brand, if you're to assess one or even give an example of one that you can case study on.
Yeah. A lot. There's quite a bit that goes into it. Different people will look at different areas, but I give them 4 pillars. When I talk about personal branding, I divide into 4 pillars. That's, of course, on the appearance, anything to do with appearance. That is how you dress, how you show up. When you enter in a room, what do we see when we look at you? We talk about behavior and etiquette, right? Those are small things that you do that you're not conscious about, but they speak so much about you, right? So it's communication. How do you communicate? What's your tonality? How do you, articulate your words? How do you actually just express yourself? Just communication. And then digital presence. If I Googled your name right now, what would I see? Those are some of the things that we work on. So some people will just come in and say, not even say it, but we will look at them and say, you only need to work on your wardrobe. A wardrobe detox, a shopping, some good photos, and a profile, and we are good. But a good brand will normally be different from other people in the industry. You will stand out. You'll be unique. You'll be like Asha. There are so many other photographers. I go all the way to Thika to look for Asha. I'm sure I passed like 100 and something studios on my way there, but I go there because I know Asha. Her brand is authentic, and I know what I will get is none other. I mean, I'll spend a whole day there just for photos. Another thing is a good brand establishes credibility and trust. A strong brand, you will want to trust them. You will lean in. When they speak, you will lean in. Like the other day, I was listening to just Michelle Obama, and she was roasting Donald Trump over there. And oh my gosh, that speech was awesome. I was really leaning into her because she is a brand that I've come to trust and love. I find her very credible. And of course, it has been a journey for her. You attract opportunities. When you know that you're there and your brand has grown, you definitely attract new opportunities. You attract new visibility. People see you. Suddenly you're visible. Suddenly we are like, hiya, Lucy, I see you. I see you. You have always been there doing what you're doing, still the same way, same skill, but you just make a few changes here, there, and you're suddenly visible, right? We also see people who have built strong brands as very confident, like Catherine has actually talked about. They're very confident and they're clear with what they want, clear with their goals, clear with their visions, right? I mean, these are people you ask them within 6 months, what do you want? But because they have really built on their brand and they know what they want and who they are, and they know their authentic self, they now know what it is they're pursuing, right? Of course, big brands and strong brands, let me not say big, let me say strong. Strong brands also influence perception, right? So when we go to a room and you have a strong brand and you want to be seen in a certain way, you have power to influence the room. I normally say, have you ever been in a space where you're just minding your business, possibly having lunch or whatever in a restaurant, somebody walks in and everybody wants to look back at who was that? It's very magnetic. It's something that you can't even put words to, but whoever walked in must be a very important person. They have not said nothing, but within the first 7 seconds, you feel that person walked in must be somebody that, you even start thinking, did I see them on TV? Are they in politics? And you try placing them because they come in with such an aura, such an energy, which is very positive and attractive. So people who have built these positive brands, let me say positive because brands can be negative as well, have also their adaptability, they are flexible. They're able to adapt to the different market and how it keeps changing, right? That is when you know that that brand is established. So if you have a social media handles, you suddenly notice that you're growing and followers. You suddenly, your circles suddenly listen into you when you're speaking, right? Your usual friends now will be like very keen on anything you're saying. Okay. So it is now that is how you know that your brand that you have built intentionally has now borne fruit, and you can now say you have a strong brand. Right.
Very great insights. Catherine, you have something to add to that?
Yes. I liked what Lucy talked about, adaptability. Yeah, for your brand to be strong and to remain strong, you have to be adaptable because life changes. And if you don't change, then you become obsolete. And there's a quote I like by a certain management guru called Jim Rohn. He says, life does not get better by chance, but by change. So you have to change. You've heard of people changing their wardrobes. You've heard of people changing the way they walk. You've heard of people changing their skills because they have a goal they want to get somewhere. So they go and sharpen their skills. They go and learn. That is so true about strong brands. Adaptability is key. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to hear from Asha. What are the common mistakes you observe when someone comes and they need your help to rebrand and their look and feel, their visual? So obviously you have to look at where are they coming from. What is like the worst portfolio you've ever worked with and helped it to turn a new page? Which mistakes should we avoid? Please unmute.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, so I was trying to say this, I'm not as confident as Catherine and Rebecca are as far as this topic of branding is concerned, but I can definitely give my experience as far as what Lucy has asked. So Lucy, just rephrase your question so that I come back to you.
Yes. So my question is, you can give an example of a brand that you've worked with. So obviously you have to review their past portfolio and seen the mistakes that they made, because obviously they're coming to rebrand because something is not working right. So which are these common mistakes in terms of the look and feel of different brands that we make, and you can advise us to avoid?
Okay, so one of the experiences that I feel are really bad, as far I will not have a particular subject in mind, but I'll give different scenarios of what to avoid, let me say. One of the things is lack of direction. Sometimes you have a client who comes in and wants to have a certain brand identity, but they do not know what they actually want. So even the visual style, what they want to achieve, they don't have a direction. They don't have a vision. Let me actually put it like that. When the client lacks vision, you're not able to help them or assist them get to where they want to get. So as photographers, sometimes we find that the client will burden you. They'll just come with an idea, this is what I want, but they're ill prepared. They don't have the right outfits. They don't even have a mood board. Sometimes it's right when a client, even when you don't have the idea, you could have a mood board that depicts what you'd like to achieve. So when there's lack of that and the customer is already at your table and they're here for the shoot, it's really a bit of a task to handle. The other element, I'll just say, it's attitude. Just as Catherine has said it, I think when you do not have the right attitude, as much as you'll have a team that is ready and willing to work, they might not be able to achieve what you're looking to get at the end of it. And I think attitude plays an extremely big role. And perhaps this is why it's so key for people to really go for coaching, because we can offer you our services to a certain extent, but the rest has to be taken care of by someone else. Or if you lack confidence, as much as Rebecca has portrayed how well we work and how good we are, we cannot really fill in that gap as good as a coach can. So the other element is also when a client is really rigid. Let me put it like that. When they're really rigid and you're trying your best to make them feel comfortable, but they still can't shift from that element of being rigid. I think someone should just breathe in and relax themselves in a sense to allow the process to really take shape. What other element? Outfits. I have said outfits before, but let me portray again. Outfits are very key as far as photography is concerned. The wrong outfit will send the wrong message. By all means, I say structure, where properly structured outfits, they portray a very clean, a very focused person, contrary to overly casual outfits. So if you're coming in to propel your brand to the next level, and perhaps you come in ragged jeans and simple t-shirts, you might not really get to attract the right target audience for your product or for your brand, in a sense. Also, if you're seeking to get clients or to attract employers, it is key that you also align your style with what those brands or with what those clients and employers are interested in. I hope that's giving some sense of direction, Lucy.
Absolutely, it does. And it ties into what I want to ask Catherine in terms of, because we are looking at how we are evolving. So how do we ensure that as we evolve in our careers, we also evolve with our brand so that we are not showcasing the same person we were, but you're a CEO, but people don't see that CEO in you. So how do you evolve professionally and even personally?
Thank you so much for that question. When it comes to brand evolving, yes, there are things you need to do. And I liked what Asha said, that people come to her without direction, without a clear goal. So when it comes to your brand also, you must have a career goal. Yes. What is your goal? Where do you see yourself in the next year? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? When do you want to reach the epic of your career? Do you want to be the CEO, or what do you want to be? So yes, have a clear career goal. And you start by asking yourself, where am I right now? And when do I want to get there? That's number one. Number two, have a growth plan. Ask yourself, what skills do I have that will take me to where I want to be? And what skills do I need to build? You have to learn, you have to be a continuous learner. And they say, the more you learn, the more you earn. So if you want to get to that CEO position, you have to start strategizing right now. What courses am I going to take? Am I going to add another degree? Am I going to add another master's degree? What should I do? Should I improve my communication? Should I improve my networking skills? What should I do? Because, you know, as your brand evolves, yeah, your career evolves, your growth evolves also. And then your values. Ask yourself, are my values still the same? Or do I have to shift my values? But remember, when it comes to values, values depict who you are. That is your true self. Who are you? So do your values change or don't they change? That is a question you need to ask yourself. So as I'm getting to CEO position, what things do I have to do so that when I speak, people see me as authentic, they see that I have depth, and they even listen to me. And I also like the statement that Rebekah made, that someone walks into the room and you feel their presence and you're asking, who is that? You're asking, who is that? Because this person's brand is strong, and that is part of evolving. So how does your brand evolve? Continuous learning. You have to learn. You have to network. You have to attend conferences. You have to read daily. You have to experience new things. You have to stick yourself out there and say, you know what? I am here. I don't know. I will volunteer. I will fail forward. That's how you also develop 6 skills.
Technical hitches. Catherine, you can continue.
I heard basically finished. when I said you have to develop thick skin as you evolve your brand, because you will get bumps along the way. Yes. So developing a strong brand is not for the faint-hearted, because not everyone is for you. There are those who want to pull you down. Immediately you start rising up.
Rebekah, you have something to add to that?
Yes. I
Please
like
go
what
ahead.
Catherine is saying, because I've also realized for people who have identified the kind of brand they want, or those people who have a goal that they want to achieve. And of course, that means that the brand you have where you are cannot get you to the next space. I mean, the people we have become, like where we are, what we have read, the knowledge we have, like Catherine has clearly stated, what we already have can only help us in the space where we are. But for that next space, we expected to learn more. We expected to expose ourselves more. We expected to lift our hands up some more. And I like something that Girls for Girls say. We say we do it afraid. It means you want to get out there, fail, but do it again. Learn as you continue. And of course, it means you have to have a growth mindset. A growth mindset means that I know I am not where I should be, but I'm ready to do whatever it takes to get me there. So yes, it's okay to be where I am. I'm grateful every day, but again, I still have there. And there needs me to dress like that in a certain different way. There needs me to have an extra skill. There needs me to have another maybe set of friends, not the ones that I've had. There needs me to have another networking forum, that will challenge me. And they say, if you're in a space and you're the smartest in that space, it's time to change your crowd. It's time to change your friends. You cannot be the smartest because you will not grow. So that I just wanted to add to that what Catherine was saying. Yeah.
I now want us to tackle how we package ourselves and what people see. And now we are in the age of social media. We're on TikTok, all these platforms. So as a brand, and I want all of you to contribute, because I know your brands are out there. And even right now, we will share your pages and people will go and engage with your content. So what should you, I'll start with Asha, because she's the one who helps us to, glam up and look great. So how should one take, for instance, a photo for Instagram, for TikTok, a photo for, I've worked in the film industry and I know you need a headshot for the industry. So could you paint a picture for us in terms of the first image someone sees of you on a platform, even like the president? I see every career you go into, you'll have a photo on the website. So how should we package ourselves? Even the photos we send for posters, like the event we had, how do we come to you and tell you, we explain what we do and what we want to achieve. So can you maybe share with us how we can start using what we have to package ourselves?
Okay, so I'll go back to the point of, once you identify your audience, you're able to know when you're coming to me, I'm able to help you address the audience that you have. So for instance, the way Lucy was saying, like, how do you know what image to use to represent your brand, isn't it? If I'm working with someone who's in the corporate space, someone manager, you're working with a HR officer, anyone in those kind of brands, the basic shots that people tend to have are headshots or a bit of a three-quarter shot that shows their posture, shows the upper body element. Let us take that you're working with a brand perhaps that is a fitness or a wellness brand. So those kind of clients would require a different set of images. Perhaps for a wellness coach, images taken outdoors in an environment that seemingly portrays, once you see images taken in a green environment, in mountain caves, such kind of spaces, already it resonates with a sense of wellness. If you're looking at gym instructors, taking photos inside a gym, showing some action shots would look good in their profile, even without describing what they're trying to to save, the photo will speak to you first. When you just click on their pages, once you see the image, it's a representation of what they want you to get as a brand, who they are. If you delve into people who are doing, what is it? If you delve into a chef's page, perhaps you'll get a photo of a plate of food, maybe a food for them that resonates with what their skill or their art is. So I guess once a client comes to you in terms of personal branding or what they want really to portray out there, it's key that they tell you who their target audience is and what they wish to portray. And by doing that, you're able to know, do you need a headshot? Do you need a casual shot? You have a podcast. You have a podcast that talks about just lifestyle issues. You'd want perhaps a chill photo and not a corporate CEO kind of vibe. You don't want your audience to be closed up when they're approaching your page. So photos, as you said, can speak 1,000 words, even before you give a tagline or even before you read the descriptive underline of what they do. The photo can tell you immediately what this person is offering. So I think that's about it as far as imagery is concerned.
I'd like Rebekah to add on to that based on how you work with brands.
Yeah, allow me to share a quote that I love very much. It's a Chinese proverb, actually, and it says, dig your wells before you get thirsty. It's a very good proverb. I love it. I love it. I love it to bits, because how that translates to what we're talking about today is, let's not wait until the day you get that job, until the day you get promoted, until the day, your boss calls you and they tell you there's a position somewhere, required, and you're required to apply for. Before that day, can we go back and dig our wells and prepare, our brands? How can we prepare? How do we want to be seen, right? We can start from where we are. Even before approaching a coach, there's a few things that you can do yourself, right? Like now, just talking about like what Asha said, what's your audience target like? Who is that you want to attract? Who is that you want to, because you don't want to be seen by everyone. There's someone you want to actually see you and feel you. So once you identify that, it really does help having that mood board or a vision board even, because that also helps you identify who you really want to show up as. Yeah. And then now go back and prepare, mindset. Your mindset has to also accommodate the fact that you are not okay being where you are. If you want to get to that other level, there are things that you need to start adapting. There are things you need to learn. You have to be resilient. You have to have thick skin, right? I remember there's a client I told, I was just prepping them and I was telling them, we'll have to put lipstick on you for this next shot that we want to get some lipstick on you. And she was like, I hope it's not red. Like, what's wrong with red? I had to get into her mindset to understand when she hears red lipstick or when she sees red lipstick, what does that mean for her? And she told me that her father, who is an old-fashioned father, said that red lipstick is only worn by prostitutes. And I was like, what? No, not in this world. Not in this world. And, being able to demystify that small aspect, which is just a lipstick, just having lashes done. Some people will be like, oh my gosh, I'll be very artificial. I will look strange. And of course, those are battles that we have. And then we have to go back and understand, where did you get that from? Who told you that makeup is wrong? Who told you, this kind of hair is wrong, right? Who told you? So we have to go in there and unpack those beliefs, unpack them until now we get to get to alignment. So again, we don't force you to do what you don't want. We have to each come to the same page, understand that this is important because, and this is the why we're doing this. So that is what I would want to add to that. So let's remember to dig our wells before we get thirsty. Of course, nowadays we don't dig wells, we have taps, but you understand what I'm talking about.
I really like that. We are starting from our beliefs all the way to our values, to glamming up, so that inside out we are a reflection of what is inside. So I want Catherine to summarize on that, and then we can go to the audience now for questions.
All right. I will pick from dig your well before you get thirsty. You can meet someone who looks so glamorous. They look glamorous, they look beautiful, but let them open their mouth to speak. You want to run away. And why do you want to run away? Maybe their sentence structure is wrong. Maybe they are mixing English and Sheng, and the forum they are in does not demand that. It demands you to speak in a certain way. Know your audience. Who are you addressing? Maybe this person is just shouting or they're speaking and saliva is coming out of their mouth, and it is, yeah, you know what? You know how it is when someone speaks and their saliva is on you and you're like, oh my God. So you have to prep your communication. When you dress the part and you speak, let people know and say, she got it, she has it, she's all together, because you're walking your talk. What they are seeing and what is coming out of you is in alignment. So it is also important for you to prep your communication. Who are you going to talk to? How are you going to talk to them? Is there anything you need to know about them so that when you talk to them, they listen to you, they understand you? You prepare yourself so that you get the audience and the response you're looking for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like we are in very great hands here, and I hope you're taking notes like I am, and looking forward also to engaging our beautiful panelists in private. So I want to open this session to the audience because I know there are people who may have questions or comments. So feel free to unmute yourself, and our office, in our back office, will ensure that you can answer the question. So Juliet, you have something to say? I see Juliet on the screen. Anyone who'd like to ask a question to the panelists? Feel free to do so.
Lucy, can I read some things here in the comments as we wait for the next question?
Yes, sure.
Caroline N. Maringa says, very enlightening discussion. Each of the panelists has their unique way of bringing out what personal branding is. They are in sync. Asante sana. Oh, thank you, Caroline. That's very kind of you. Caroline again says, our beliefs and upbringing could make us resist change. Oh, yes. Caroline, you should shout that on the mountaintops. Some of our beliefs and upbringing actually affect a lot of the way we speak, the way we, present ourselves. We were taught humility is keeping quiet. So when you're addressed and you're told to talk, you have this humble way of saying, I cannot talk. I was taught to be quiet, right? Yes, that really does make a difference. Then let me see. Yeah, so let's continue putting in our comments, questions. Feel free to ask generally or to anyone on this panel that you'd want to ask. Karibuni.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tracy Iminza, and I have really enjoyed the session. I do have a question on communication. What aspects of communication do you think we should improve on if you want to strengthen your brand? Like, what aspects of communication should one look out for and seek to improve? Yeah, thank you.
I will let both Catherine and Rebecca answer, and then I will also chime in something at the end. Go ahead.
All right, I can start. That's a very important question. If you want to improve your brand, what parts of communication must you improve on? In communication, we have three parts. we have body language, we have tone of voice, and we have words used. So you have to improve your body language. Your body language should be in sync with what you're saying. And I like the example that Asha used, that here you are coming for a Photoshop. You want a professional Photoshop, but you're coming in ragged jeans. So will people take you seriously? Certainly not, because that's the body language you're portraying out. So if you want to build a strong brand, number one, take care of your body language. What is it you want people to say? There are some professions that do not appreciate rastas, and there are some professions that are okay with rastas. So ask yourself, what is your career goal? When you stand out, what will people see and perceive of you? So body language is very important. And then tone of voice. When you're talking to people, do you shout or are you using a harsh tone? Have you ever called someone and they tell you, Zaza, hey, and you wonder, who did you fight with? And others you call and they are like, good morning, good evening, how are you? How has your day been? You see the different brands? You'll say this brand is harsh. I don't want to interact with it. This brand is soft. It's approachable. I want to interact with it. And the third one is the words used. Sometimes people talk and all what they are oozing is negativity. They are seeing the gloom and the doom, and you're like, no, 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 no. I do not want to bank with that bank. And this other bank is telling you, you know what? We are a caring, listening partner. Come to us. Even if you have 10 bob, come to us. We will take it. And another one tells you, if you don't have 50,000, I'm sorry, you are not going to open an account with us. Those are words used, and people do not realize what effect words have on people. So be very careful with the words used when you're talking to people, and even when you're writing, take care of the words you're writing and even how you're writing. Are you writing in capital letters? That means you're shouting. Or are you using title case, which is more gentle? So all these three things contribute to your brand: your body language, tone of voice, and words used. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebekah.
Wow. That is so clear, Catherine. Thank you for sharing. Allow me to just pick one. There are two things that I find to really attract me to positive and powerful communicators. And one is articulation of the words, right? Just articulating the word nicely. Some people talk and they swallow the words. So you're there asking, what again? What, pardon me? What did you say? Because they swallow. And people who swallow their words, it shows as lack of confidence. When you speak very fast, swallowing some of the words, and people have to keep asking. So if people keep asking you to repeat something you said, as simple as your name, if people keep asking, what again, what name, what did you say? If they ask you twice or thrice, there's a problem. So you have to project your voice and be conscious to do that, not in a shouting manner, not in an annoying manner, but just very pleasant. It's a very thin line, sound very pleasant and very, very clear. Now, the other thing is on that Catherine brought out on nonverbals, your body language. This is something I have seen. And I like giving an example. When I was younger, of course, much younger, in my teenage years, and we were having all these hormones going on, and we had all these things going on, and and some boy would come and say hi, and they called me Becky then. I say, hi, Becky, you're hot. Can I take you out? And I'll be there drawing on the ground and saying, no, no. My body language was saying, yes, I like this conversation, but my mouth was saying it a different story, right? So I wasn't really, but I think those boys understood that when we say the no, it meant something different. But all I'm saying is sometimes your body language does not go with your words. You say yes or you say no, but your body language is saying something different. right? So being very conscious that my body is congruent with my words. So if I say I am not interested, my body language is the same. And I normally give people, let me share this, a very quick tip. If you're speaking with someone, say across the table and you're facing each other, and the more you speak, the more they lean back, right? It's like they're creating more distance between themselves and you. That means they are losing sync. They're not quite interested in what you're saying. Either they're doubting something you're saying, or they're like, really, you know? But if you speak to someone and they keep leaning in closer, even if an inch closer, I am very keen to see that inch. Then it means there's something I have just said that they resonated with. And I'm quick to pick that because I'm very present in the communication. So I pick that and I zero in, especially when I'm doing a pitch, I zero in on that area that I saw them leaning in. So we need to be conscious with our body language. What are we saying that we are not saying? We said, Asha said, your body language, your image is worth like 1,000 words. So what are you saying that you're not saying? All right. Are you saying I'm not interested and you're saying I'm interested? Are you saying no while you meant yes? Or is it yes and you meant no? So that let's be congruent with between what our body language is saying, what our words are saying, and then our communication will come out very, very clear. I hope that answers.
It does. Thank you so much. And I think we'll go to the comments section and we'll start with just a moment. Rose Matenga says, what about voice coaching as part of presentation? I think Catherine has touched a bit on the voice tone. So maybe you can answer her in terms of how she can, the pronunciation of words. How can she work on that and help her improve on her confidence and presentation?
Yeah, allow me to just chip in very, very fast. I have actually written it down here. If you really are very keen on your articulation and all that, there's a group called Toastmasters. Toastmasters is available. You can just check it out on Google. Look for the nearest Toastmasters to where you are. If you really want to take this to the next level, like you want to be a public speaker, you want to present yourself better. But even Catherine here, I think she offers such classes. She can tell us more about it.
Yes, I do offer presentation skills, and the course is just practical. Yes, you'll do theory, but there's practical. And in that, when you're doing your presentation and you're mumbling, as Rebekah was saying, you're not opening your mouth. One of the things I constantly tell you is open your mouth. Because once you open your mouth, then people can hear what you are saying. Yes. Articulation, pronunciation matters. I tell people, you remember what you learned in school, reading comprehension. That comes to play when you're an adult. Things that you took for granted. When you start doing presentation skills, then you're reminded how you pronounce words, how you should open your words, how you should complete your sentence to the end, and not let someone complete the sentence for you so that you start saying, no, that's not what I meant. Yes. And also speaking slowly, as Rebekah said. Yes. Part of articulation is speaking slowly and clearly so that the other person understands. I'll be happy to discuss this with you further. Thank you.
Yeah, that was from Rose. So Rose will share contacts of Rebekah as well as Catherine's so that you can get personalized coaching. But as you've heard, there are tools that can help you start practicing and also reading and engaging with people who can give you proper advice. So the next question is from Serena Prudence. She says, thank you very much, very informative. As personally, just a moment, my laptop, please. Yes, she struggles with personal image, but she's working on it, and she's definitely going for a photo shoot. So I want Asha to guide us. I know your session it's all rounded. As much as you're working on a photo shoot, you want someone to also work on their inside too. showcase who they truly are. So if someone comes to you and they are not confident, and I would want also Rebekah and Catherine to share their insights, how do you work with them so that they are not slouching when you need them to just be open? How do you help them to bring out their best self through photos?
So let me just give you a very short insight of what happens when a client comes to our studio for our services. So when a client walks in, of course, the initial niceties of saying hello, already the aspect of how we'll talk to the client, as Catherine has highlighted, can allow a client also, as much as they might be rigid or they might be timid, it can give them a sense of confidence boost. We are very warm, I believe. We're very warm towards our clients. And I think just by the virtue of that, we make them feel comfortable in our space. So secondly, once the client is here and we request them to show us what they come with in terms of wardrobe, during that process, we interact with them. Sometimes I get to ask them what they do for a living, if we had not had that brief previously. Sometimes we even delve into their personal life. Very little, not so much, just asking them if they have kids, that kind of social entity, because there are instances where if a client is too shy and they can't get to smile, I at times ask them to think about a good moment with their child or a happy moment with their spouse or with their loved ones, be it siblings or parents. And once they really go into that space or into that moment, you see their confidence, even they get to forget that we are in the same room as them, and you see a very different persona. And once you've gone and gone and you're talking to them, you're engaging with them, funny as it is, you get to see the true them by engaging them in a different light. I don't know. Yes, let me put it as such. So even for clients who are not as confident, we first delve into places that touch their heart in that essence, and they're able at least to let go and be free and express themselves in a good way. The other way we work is by mirroring. So sometimes I can portray how I want the client to pose and ask them to mirror what I am doing. But before you get to the mirroring stage, you really have to get the client to be comfortable with you, to even allow themselves move into your direction. They have first to be comfortable with you. This applies whether a client has come in for a personal branding shoot or even just a shoot, a regular shoot. When a client has just come, they're here for their 40th birthday shoot, funny as it is, that is also branding. We brand ourselves all the time. All the time when people come to the studio and they just want to have lifestyle photos, you want to put your family out there. This is my family, this is my structure. That is still branding, as Rebekah and Catherine have portrayed, in whatever essence that we put ourselves out there. The visuals that we put out there portray who we are. So that is the basic entity of what we do in our studio. We are warm to you as a client. We talk to you. We get to know you a bit. We interact with you during the session. We do guide you on posing, because we also get clients who are completely zero. They're shy to the core. As much as we'll try all the other tricks, they might not work, and we have now to employ what you know in terms of skills and show them what to do. And as the shoot progresses, because it takes quite a bit of time, they're able to now relax and do what they're required to do.
Rebekah, you want to add something to that?
I just remembered something that I saw in Asha's studio. When I go there, I really insist on having music on. Because when I have music, there's a way my movements are fluid. I am not so, cut and moving like so rigid. So for me, my favorite part is when I have the music going and I like a certain genre, and that helps me to really relax and just let myself go. But also it helps because I have an image of what I want to look like. I have, looked for some inspiration on Pinterest. And so I know what I'm looking at. And if I can share images also, it works better. So we now work together like that. But what Asha is saying is so interesting, because I see clients, they are so rigid. And she does her magic on them, and they just melt away and the images come out perfectly. Yeah.
Catherine? Yeah, Catherine, could you add something on how to boost our confidence?
How to boost your confidence. First and foremost, relax, relax, relax. You know, once you're relaxed, then your true self comes out. But once you are tense, even smiling becomes a problem. Even eating becomes a problem. Even walking becomes a problem. Your legs cannot move. So I always tell people, relax, relax, relax. After relaxation, your strengths. Your strengths, always let your strengths shine through. And I always encourage people, and I will repeat it again, please do not downplay your strengths. Whatever little strength you have, whatever compliments you've received from people, do not downplay that, because that is such a confidence booster. When someone tells you, I like your smile, I like your eyes, I like your hair, all these things contribute to boosting your confidence. And then it comes to walking. Yeah, like Asha said, some people are bent, they can't stand, they can't sit straight. Some of these things are skills that you have to learn. So also be open to investing in yourself so that you get the skills and the tips of how to become confident, how to build rapport, how to talk to strangers, and how to just relax. That is what I would say.
Thank you so much. I will just go to the comment section again. And this is Rachel Minor. She says that this is an insightful discussion. I fully agree that everyone needs to strategically position their personal brand more so in the digital space, as things have really revolutionized in this age. Then we have Josephine Gary. She said, great, I have learned a lot about dressing and tone of communication. And then we have Hemedi Okubure. He says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How do you know it's the right time to be self-employed, as in start your grind and be your own CEO? If you're under employment, earning enough, fewer risks involved, timely payment. So yeah, so how do you know when it's your time to transition? I think I want Catherine to take this first.
How do you know if it's the right time? They say, is it ever the right time? Maybe not. You just have to decide, I want it now, now, and I will jump ship. You don't have to think too much about it. That's what I say, because when you start thinking too much about it, you'll enter into paralysis analysis. You will get the reasons of not becoming your own CEO. But also, it's important for you to have a plan. Have a plan. What do I want to do? And what skills do I have? What strengths do I have? What are the opportunities out there? What are the weaknesses out there? Do I go it alone or do I go it with somebody? Because sometimes you need a support group. Sometimes you're confident enough to go out there. So I would say it is up to you. Are you dissatisfied with the status quo? Do you want to challenge yourself? What are your desires? Have you ever seen yourself as that CEO? And if you see yourself like that CEO, just put on your courageous jacket and jump ship. Do not think twice. And I'll tell you, that is what happened to me. When I was transitioning to become self-employed, one thing I did, I set a date. And once I had set that date, when the day came, I remember this day like it was yesterday. It was on a Wednesday, December 15th. And I was working late. And something told me, Catherine, isn't this the day for you to resign? And I said, yes, it is the day. And you know what I did? I just went to my laptop and I typed the letter resignation. And when I didn't feel anything in the pit of my stomach, I knew I was making the right decision. And I jumped out, and the rest is history. But brace yourself. Brace yourself. Out there is not as glamorous as people think it is, or as people want it to appear. Just brace yourself, but I would encourage you, if you're dissatisfied with the status quo and you think you desire more, just put on your jacket and jump into the deep sea. You will come up surfing, you will float. Thank you.
Rebecca, you have something to add?
It's interesting. I'm looking at Catherine here and I'm thinking, wow, she is bold. Because that's really bold to just jump ship. Well, it depends. Again, I find different personalities approach this issue differently. I have seen people like Catherine who have just jumped ship. They went out, suffered maybe for 1 year, but so very, very high up. I've seen that. I've seen people again who have chosen to still be stay employed and try, you know, just putting out your foot just a little bit at a time, you know, trying this and trying that while still holding on to the mothership for dear life. I've seen people who do that at the same time. Some as bold as Catherine, they just go out and they do it. You know, they do it afraid. So again, it depends again with so many things. There are so many factors to consider. I mean, if you're the one paying the bills and you're the breadwinner, you cannot just come and tell your family, hey, you guys, I'm out of work and let's do this afraid. Now, it depends. There are so many aspects to look at. There's so many angles to that decision. But again, if again you could just put in like mindset first, see yourself there first. You know, see it so clearly you do not struggle with seeing yourself out there. It starts up here. It all starts here. Once you accept it here and you see yourself there, then it's easy now to start taking those steps. Work on your social media. I have seen someone here who is a LinkedIn expert. She's called Rachel. Maybe Rachel, you can also put in your social media handles so people can see. Start working on your social media, refining your thing, you know, and taking care of your tools, sharpening your tools while still there and doing it discreetly, you know, and modestly. You're not there to brag about it. So then start looking for coaches and talk to a coach. Have somebody to hold your hand, a professional, if that is possible. So the transition is smooth and is seamless, right? So that we don't get damaged people and hurting people and people getting, you know, admitted in hospital, ICU. No. We don't want blood pressure. We want people doing these things, you know, mdogo mdogo. It's called mdogo mdogo in Kenya, in Kiswahili. It's just slowly. But again, depending on where you are, kindly get professional help for that. I think Catherine here seems like the person who can hold your hand for that kind of a move. Yeah, I hope that answers.
Yes, thank you so much. We continue in the comment section. I see Josephine Gary has said, how do you go about this? Like you're the only female in your department and men there keep challenging you. How do you build your self-esteem in such an environment? Any one of you can take this one.
And allow me to take that. It's really one of my desires, because I've seen clients who come to me and they're like, I can't dress up. I mean, men are there and they will act differently. If I show up dressed in a dress, it will confuse them. and I keep saying, you know what? Number one, let us embrace as women, there's what we call feminine power. Just being a woman, being in your element, not trying to be male, not trying to be the man, not trying to be tough. Just being in your space as a feminine woman, there's power in femininity, right? That means I'm not trying to wear, you know, to dress up like the other gender to be respected. No. I just come in very softly. And I remember reading this book, and I can't remember which book. And it was a very interesting book. And this lady was like, when she goes to the boardroom, she's the only lady, right? And she dresses in her very nice dress that fits her curves very, very well. And she adorns her shoes and she lifts her head high. She actually takes in her space very, very proudly as a woman. And with time, they have come to respect that she's different from us. You know, of course, at first they start, oh, she's vulnerable, she's soft, she's weak, she's this, she's that. But consistently, they have seen her value They have seen that she has an aspect about her that they don't have, and they have come to respect that over time, right? So it's just, remember, being a woman, I'm looking for the right words. It's not a weakness, right? It's not a weakness. There's a space for you as a woman. There's a space for men to be men. Oh, but as a woman, just be the woman that you're created to be. Your emotions are good. They're perfect, right? You are good. You are perfect. Your calves are good. They are perfect, right? Don't try to wear big clothes, look like you don't have calves. No, embrace your calves. They're yours. God created and put them there for a reason. And he used a protractor to make sure they were just perfect, right? So let us just embrace our femininity. And as we go into those male-dominated spaces, yes, they will maybe speak some mean words, but with time, they'll come to acknowledge, you know what? This lady is very smart in her own different way. She brings in an aspect that we don't have. We like going to her and asking for what she feels, what is her intuition, because women are known to have very strong intuition, right? And Catherine here said, embrace strength. First find out what are your strengths as a woman. That will give you confidence. I don't sound like I'm preaching, but I'm very, very passionate about this stuff, right? Yeah. Catherine, you can go.
I'd just like to summarize that with a quote from Shakespeare. Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true. That's it. To thine own self be true. If you feel like putting on trousers, if you feel like putting on a dress, put it on. But to thine own self be true. Thank you.
I'll stay right there with you because Tracy says, I'm very new to networking as a fresh graduate. Could you kindly give me some pointers?
You must have your goal of networking. Why do you want to network? Do you just want to have fun? Do you just want to look good? Do you want to meet people? Do you want business opportunities? How many people? So that is one part of it, which is complemented by confidence. Because for you to go and speak to someone, maybe you've heard about Catherine and you've gone to this event and Catherine is there. Catherine is there, but you can't approach her just to say, Catherine, how are you? My name is Elsie. So you have to be true to yourself. To thine own self, be true and have courage. Because for you to build that brand also, you have to be courageous. So be courageous in stepping on yourself, the way Becky said she used to draw circles. It doesn't matter. Just go there, step on yourself and extend your hand to say hello as you're introducing yourself to the other person. And then be interested in other people. It's not about you. When someone is speaking, please pay attention. What are they saying? Listen so that you can follow through, you can affirm, you can ask follow-through questions so that they appreciate that you are listening. And then when someone introduces themselves, they say, my name is Catherine. Please pay attention. Don't call them Christine, because some people get put off with that. Because when you listen and address someone by their name, they feel respected. So pay attention to these little things. Another tip, show appreciation. When someone gives you like their business card, don't take that business card and straight into the pocket. No, take the business card and have courtesy. Look at the card, read it, and then ask a question from there. Then the person will feel valued, they'll feel respected, and there'll be a connection. So please be respectful and also be patient. If someone snubs you, it is okay. I mean, who said that everyone should like you? Who said everyone should talk to you? Develop that thick skin I was talking about. Be patient as you network. They say one step at a time. Thank you.
Hey, I'm looking for those clapping emojis. I don't know about the rest of you. Rebecca, I want you to add something to that because I know that's your space as well.
Yeah. I would allow me to address something else because I feel like Catherine has really exhausted that point. There's another question I've seen down here. I can't remember who has written that, but the question is on, we have talked about personal branding. What about business branding? Can we talk a bit about it? This is my take on it, that question, that people buy people first, right? If Catherine here works for Coca-Cola, for example, I will not go Googling Coca-Cola to find out who they are and where they are. I will definitely find out Catherine's name, Shimechero. I will Google her because she is the one that I'm buying, not the Coca-Cola. People buy you first, not your service, not your product. And so I'm a firm believer that once I build my strong brand as a brand, myself first, my business will automatically soar. My business will automatically grow because people will. There are so many personal branding coaches. There's so many image consultants. I mean, there are tons of them. There are many. But why would people come to me and not to that other person? Why would someone resonate with me and not that other person, right? So by the time somebody resonates with me, what they don't know is I've put in work. There's work I've put in, a lot of it. So as they interact with me and they're pulled to me, what is it they're doing? They're growing my business, right? I'm getting mileage. I'm getting growth in my business. So people buy people first. The business branding is good, but let's start with building us. Then, and only then, can we grow our business. You know, I've seen people go the other way around. Like, I want the right colors for my business. I want my business to have, you know, this, that, the other. And then when you meet the business owner, you're like, really? Are you the person behind this name, right? And people lose credibility and trust immediately. But there are people, on the other hand, who manage, and that's how we get conned, because we get con men on the street who look the part, and they tell us they're selling kamugoda somewhere, a kashaba, they're selling kateri somewhere in Kamulu. We are already sold because of how they package themselves, you know, and that's how we easily get conned. So I just needed to touch on that. I felt it's something that before we finish, I would want to touch on. Let's work on ourselves first. And yet, it's still important to work on our businesses, but first, let's put the effort here. And all those other things will follow.
Yeah, as we are almost wrapping up, there's a question from Catherine, and she's saying the session is very enlightening and an eye-opener. My question is, how does one identify a mentor or coach for career guidance to walk the journey with? Either of you can answer. Catherine?
How do you identify a career coach or mentor? I will go back to Shakespeare's words, to thine own self be true. What are you looking for? You have to know what you're looking for in this coach. You have to know what you're looking for in this mentor, because you will not be compatible with everybody. But once you're clear in your mind, this is the person I am looking for. I am looking for a person who is approachable, not a person who is impatient. I will give you a story. Yesterday, I put in a proposal with a friend of mine. And when I called him, I was calling him to tell him how much I had appreciated the work he did in the proposal. But when I called him, do you know what he told me? Yes, can you summarize quickly? I said, what am I summarizing quickly? You know, that was just a put off because I was calling to appreciate the work he had done in the proposal. So even as you're looking for a mentor, what type of person are you looking for? Are you looking for a person who's approachable? Are you looking for a person who's knowledgeable? Are you looking for a person who can listen? Are you looking for a person who's available? Because you could get a person who's a very good mentor, but they are never available. You call them, they don't pick. You call them, they don't. I mean, it just frustrates you. To thine, are you
Is it my connection or?
I think it's Catherine's. I also thought I was the one who was frozen.
Oh, Catherine, you're back?
Yeah, back.
You're about to tell us a Shakespeare quote.
No. What was I saying? I was saying, yes, it's important for you to know what you want from this person. I was saying small is beautiful. Sometimes people want big names. Oh, I want Michelle Obama to be my coach. I want her to be my mentor. But is she available for you? Maybe she's not. And maybe Asha is there. Asha is small, maybe not known very much, but she's available. She has the skills, she has the talents, and she's approachable, the communication skills. So I always tell people, don't shoot too far, just around where you are. As long as you've identified the type of person you want to work with, you will always get this person around you. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting.
Thank you so much.
Interesting.
You want to add something?
Yes, please. There's a certain client who approached me another time, and it was just through LinkedIn. And of course, I asked, why did you choose me? I mean, you had so many other options, considering we've not met before, you've not seen my work. And she was like, it's very easy. She said, you know what? I looked at your values based on what you've been doing and what you put out there, and it resonates with our values. Simple. I was like, wow, that's amazing, right? Like she saw what I'm doing out there, and she especially saw Girls for Girls, and she was like, wow, you're a volunteer there, a mentor. You've been there for some time. We like that about, your brand. So sometimes also look at, if you can look on the socials, look at people's values, look at what they're putting out there, look at what, makes them tick. How do they speak? Look for videos of them speaking. Resonate, look at their energy sometimes, and it's an energy thing. They call it energy. I'm not so familiar with this topic of energies, but it really does work. You will see somebody and I feel my energy is attracted to their energy, and I want to be part of their lives, right? And like Catherine is saying, it could be just not such a strong brand, not a known brand, but you feel that this is the person that I feel will help me to the next level. And then let me point out this part, that this person might get you to that next level. But when you get to that next level, that is when you realize, the other level that I want, this person is not able to take me there. All right. And then you'll be like, thank you for your work. And now let me embrace this other coach who will take me to that other step. Okay, so it's a journey. It's a journey, but again, know where to start. Start with a coach who will not intimidate you, a coach who you do not feel small when around them, because sometimes you might be with someone and you feel very small around them. It's maybe their aura, it's I don't know, personality, all those things. So find someone that makes you feel comfortable so that you can grow together. Right.
Very awesome insights there. I love that in the comment section, we are also providing answers. So mine, Rachel says, I have seen, this is what works for her in terms of looking for a mentor. She says, first start by identifying what you want to be mentored on. Depending on the area you're seeking mentorship, identify someone who is in line and study how they behave, do things, how they articulate and such. Strategically position yourself to be seen. Engage and see the connection, ask them important and relevant questions, not the ones that you would easily get responses from Google. If they have events, attend them and volunteer actively or actively participate. Then learn, do much of the observation. Very, very beautiful insights there and adds to what we've been told. Caroline says, this is bold, Catherine. It takes courage to do that. I believe she's talking about you transitioning from employment to being an entrepreneur. So we are all different, and which is beautiful that we're all different. Then Ugoki Karia says, I've learned a lot in self-branding. I would appreciate if you could learn how to brand our businesses. I think that has been tackled, and the contacts of our panelists will be shared in the comment section. So please be on the lookout on that and save their contacts. And then Serena says, it's like how my mentor said, we tend to think a lot when we are applying for a job, like do I really qualify for this job? you find that you qualify 80% and still want to fill that 20% gap and end up not filling that CV. So be yourself and just do it rather than asking yourself later, what if? Eventually, I got an interview, go for it. Good for you and congratulations. So yeah, so I love the positive comments as well. Then Josephine says, how do you go about, oh, sorry, we've answered that. Just a moment. I can't agree more. This is Brenda says, I can't agree more. Personally, I have been learning to be feminine and I'm enjoying that. Awesome. Yeah, contacts will be shared. This is Rose. So please, our office admin will be sharing that shortly. And I think I've answered. Yeah, actually the contacts are in the comment section. I'm just scrolling. So pardon me on that. Then Agatha says, thank you so much for an insightful session. Allow me to ask how best I can help my brand stand out in social media spaces, which is the best social media. So I think I can allow Asha to take that and then I can add a bit on that.
So I think I had prepared something on that. You'll allow me to read some of the highlights. So I think some of the ways you can actually amplify your personal brand. First of all, current trend that are there is audiences are now seeking authentic and transparent content. People are past the superficial, I don't know how to call it, the superficial, well-kept kind of person. They want to see to vulnerability. As much as you're offering the brand that you represent, sometimes you can also be genuine and offer your audience real experiences. You can not only share success. People do not believe or do not buy a brand that is only speaking about success. As good as that might sound, but you have also to show the vulnerable part, the part of you that says, I'm human. I think a lot of people now resonate with that aspect of knowing that this person, Rebekah, this person, Catherine, as successful as they are, they have also had a few challenges perhaps in their brand and the fields that they venture in the work that they do in their personal spaces. I think that's one of the trends that is really speaking into the market right now, being authentic and transparent as a brand in whatever level that you did. Secondly, the thing that has taken the social media space, video content and live streaming. For instance, spaces like TikTok allow all of us young enough to become personalities, online social media personalities. You can start a platform where you socialize with your audience. You can have live sessions, interactive sessions like these that we are having. Speak aloud. Like, for instance, someone who has joined this forum for girls, G4G, definitely has had an interaction of some sort with all the panelists, one way or the other. So this resonates with your audience. They can identify with the G4G brand, knowing that there's an interactive aspect here. The questions we are able to answer, they are able to give questions. They're even able to give insight on some of the questions that other people are asking on the same platform. So such kind of platforms nowadays really amplify a brand. When someone knows that you can give polls, you can ask questions, you can get answers, people can get to interact with you as a brand, can really amplify you on the social media. The other thing is also something Rebekah said, having a purpose-driven brand. A brand cannot only be seen to be driving into gearing from. You should also have spaces where you volunteer in one way or the other, spaces where you interact, community kind of interaction. You're able to, like what Rebekah said, someone saw her volunteering in this space and they resonated with her values. And that alone allowed this particular person to be able to book her for their coaching per se. But there's something deeper in Rebekah rather than just the brand that is powerful for her. The other aspect that I had highlighted in my presentation was also building a community. It has become common that you can build a community on whatever platform, Facebook, you can build a community in this LinkedIn groups, in the Discord spaces. So once you have this community, they become like your aunts and They sometimes even speak about your brand in spaces that you haven't even delved into. So by doing this, you're able to amplify the brand. Another thing that you can consider is collaborating with your peers. You can consider collaborating with your peers. For instance, both Catherine and Rebekah are coaches in different spaces. When they collaborate, Rebekah's community is able to interact with Catherine, Catherine's community is able to interact with Rebekah. So by doing that already, you amplify the space that you're in. So I think those are a few things that I would highlight as far as amplifying yourself.
That's really great. And I see Grace has also added some few comments in the comment section. She says, know your audience, know the problems that that your business is solving. What is your target audience pain points? Where does your target audience hang out? Is it Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok? So you have to, of course, profile your audience so that you know how to curate specific content for them. And then she said that she feels TikTok right now is a good platform for business because the algorithms favor new creators. So that's a very good, important aspect on also understanding how all these different platforms work and keeping up to the times. Do your research. Right now, you can't ignore the power of connectivity through social media because you may work with clients who are in Australia and you're right here. So just make good use of these spaces. And yeah, so Agatha says, thank you. I think that has been answered. I think the rest are just, yeah. So Christabel says, this has been an insightful session. And Carolina says she loves Rebekah's sense of humor. And yeah, I think Rosemary says, quite an insightful session. Thank you, G4G and the speakers. This has been a great session. This is from Tracy. And thank you, G4G and facilitators and speakers. Thank you so much also for tuning in. And then almost lastly is Ngwa Mary Loom. Thank you so much for this session. I have learned a lot to relax, concentrate on my strengths. Amazing. That was a very good comment to wrap this up. But before we wrap, we have Mercy, who's part of the G4G team. I would like her to take you through a bit of what we do at G4G so that you see how you can plug in. Even as gentlemen in the room, you can encourage your ladies to be part of this amazing community of women. And we appreciate you all for making time to listen in. And hopefully we'll be able to share this session with you so that you can take more notes. I know sometimes you miss out on some of the nuggets, so you can take notes and learn. So we'll be engaging with you. We are on all social media platforms, even TikTok. So make sure that you follow us. We will share the Linktree link there. If you've not seen it, you can like, share, comment, and LinkedIn. So engage with our panelists as well. I'll give Mercy a chance to talk, and then our panelists will give their final parting shots and insights. Thank you, Mercy. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lucy, and to our panelists. The session has indeed been insightful, even to myself, just taking down notes and really reflecting on the conversation that has been. To introduce myself, I am Mercy Muthui, Program Manager at Girls for Girls Kenya, and we are very honored and privileged to have your presence in this session. So Girls for Girls is a leadership development and mentorship program whereby we take young girls from the age of 13 and above. We have really no ceiling limit to our women through our leadership program that's Harvard curated. And the leadership entails a 6-module course that takes a period of between 3 to 6 months. So on the chat box, I have shared a Linktree. So once you're able to click on that link, it will take you to different sites. And this allows you to choose how you want to experience or join Girls for Girls. You have the option of joining in as a mentor, whereby we are able to add you to a group where you can sign up to go through the Global Mentors training, which generally just introduces you to Girls for Girls and the G4G module of mentorship. So right after that, then we're able to link you up to a group of ready women ready to be mentored. You can also join in as a mentee. So through this, then you are the one who's going to be taken through the mentorship program by our very accomplished and seasoned ladies. So yes, and after now you graduate as an alumni, then we present numerous opportunities within the Girls for Girls network. So you'll get to realize that it's a global program. And you'll be able to join different committees. For example, you have Rebekah as our events lead for Kenya. So if events is something that you enjoy doing, then we are able to link you up to the different committees. We have the book club, we have the writing club, just to mention but a few. If you're interested in climate change, climate action, we have the environment club. So yes, and above, to top it up, is the networking experience that you get to have with our mentors and our mentees. And I feel, based on the discussion that we've just had, Girls for Girls is the best option for you as a young lady fresh out of campus, for you as a working woman, for you who's just retired. We have cohorts that cater to the different age sets, to the men that are here. You can spread the word to your sister, to your mother, to your spouse, right? We are very excited about being our sister's keeper, about lifting and maintaining our sisters' crowns. So we'd love to have you on board. On the link tree, there's also contact information in case you need more information. Please feel free to reach out to us. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Girls for Girls Kenya, and we look forward to having you on board. Thank you so much. Back to you, Lucy.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for also helping us with the back office right there and engaging with the audience. So I'll go back to my beautiful panelists and they will share their beautiful parting shots that you can take with you as you prepare to reach out to them in person. I'll start with Rebekah, then Asha, then Catherine.
Right. That was an interesting, very, very interesting session. I started by saying it's one of my favorite topics in the whole world. I love it. We had a great time. Thank you all who took time to join us for this discussion. I hope we all got impact. I hope we got some form of something new that we have learned that we are able to apply immediately from here. I've seen someone, I did not get to read the whole message, but somebody who was saying, how do you start off, like, having gone through a loss of a spouse or a business, and they're asking, where do we start? And I would advise, number one, Girls for Girls is a very good space. It's a place that you find other people, like-minded people who have gone through what you've gone through, people who have picked themselves up, and they can teach you exactly how they've done that. Networking is a very, very special gift. So first and foremost, get yourself surrounded by people who are stronger than you. Then reach out to either Catherine or myself. And yeah, we will take your place and we'll handle your business with, of course, discretion, and we'll get you to the next space. So, but first and foremost, look at the people that you surround yourself with. Find a strong community. And at G4G, we say, which is Girls for Girls, you come in and you find a strong village. A village is some people you can trust, some people you can work with, and some people that you can journey with. Thank you all again for joining us. We're very happy to have had you.
Asha?
Thank you, everybody. I want to say a huge thank you to Catherine, to Rebekah, to Muthui, to Lucy, and all of us who have participated in today. It's really been a pleasure to be part of this space. So I wanted to say something because Catherine, before I gave my participation, Catherine said something about being confident and saying your part and do not gender your voice at any point. You just have to be audible. You have to be heard. If you have something to say, say it. So there's one point someone asked on how to deal spaces that are male dominated and how, as a woman, do you space. So as a female in the photography industry, I want to say to this person that it's not easy, it's male dominated. But what do I do as an individual to make sure that I take my space in this industry? First and foremost, my femininity is a superpower. I'm sorry to the gentlemen, but my femininity is a superpower. It is not a weakness. Secondly, amplifying my strength is key. The fact that I'm here and I'm offering this service means that I know what I'm doing. There's nothing you're going to say that will subtract from what I do as an individual. So once you have that confidence in your mind, as much as someone may try to bring you down, they truly can't. It's all in you. You have to believe in yourself. Then finally, do the very best and not do less and expect people to applaud that. Do your very best. Finally, be authentic. And that is my parting shot. Be authentic. When you're true to yourself, that's about it. There's nothing else. Be authentic.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
All right. To everyone who came for this session, I say thank you very much. It's always good to learn from each other. I say learning is an exchange. You're not a reservoir of knowledge. And for all of us, can we be long life learners? Can you endeavor to learn something new each and every day? That is how you will start growing your brand and you will sustain it as a strong brand. So I will part with Jim Rohn's words. Life does not get better by chance, but by change. You have to get uncomfortable to change something. So ask yourself, where are you comfortable? Just a little bit. Get uncomfortable just a little bit so that you move to the next level. And always remember, you can get to the next level through training, through coaching, through mentoring. So whichever one you choose, we are here to help you and support you. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. I see we have a global team in the room, and I want to send a shout out to Neven Naidu. He says, I don't know if it's, sorry, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but they say, hello, everyone, great discussion and speakers. It's enlightening. As someone who's both hearing and speech impaired, I learned a lot from everyone, and I'm happy to be G4G's. I think this is South Africa mentor. Thank you all. We appreciate you so much, Neven, from all the way from South Africa, and we appreciate everyone who's even engaged us in the comment section. It's really, really, really awesome and beautiful to just have a community of people who want to see each other thrive. And special thanks from the G4G family. We are global, but this is brought to you by G4G Kenya, Girls for Girls Kenya. And Girls for Girls is a movement of amazing women who are empowering each other to be leaders, to set trends, to lead. Okay, so we invite you to plug into our programs as Mercy has taken us through, and also as Rebekah told us. And you can volunteer in your communities, in your spaces, and you take this knowledge. Let's always learn and yearn to pay it forward. You don't reserve all the great resources God has given you. Let them shine out to the world. Share your knowledge, share your skills. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you, Rebekah. I appreciate you, Asha. I appreciate you, Catherine, for adhering to the call and staying online and being so gracious to share your knowledge and your skills. And I don't know, everyone else, just send love to them in the comments and on their platforms, and we will be sharing this session with you. So from me here in Nairobi, Kenya, have a lovely night and see you soon. We'll be doing this again and again. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, and good evening, and good morning, and good afternoon to everyone.
Good night. Good evening. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Rebecca, umesema utaki
Yes. Oh, good night, everyone. Just waiting to see everyone leave. You know, I'm the host, so I have to wait for everyone to leave. Yes, then now I can leave. All right, see you guys. Have a good night.
Good night. Let me end the session now.
All right, thank you.